Welcome to the Headrace garage, everyone. Some of you may be aware that I was featured in Practical Sports Bike magazine a couple of years ago for restoring a ZZ-R600 S-Rad. I'll put a couple of clips on the screen now of that. So this garage has seen a lot of action over the years. I've restored a ZX-R750H1 in here as well. It's nothing too remarkable, it's just a standard single garage, or single and a half because it's slightly longer than normal. So welcome to the garage, and as we'll go through in a minute, guys, you're going to see a lot more about this garage, or a lot more happening in this garage than you have done previously. You may be able to see the reason behind that just in the background, so spoiler alert there. So let's take one bike at a time. This is my 2020 VFR1200X. And a couple of videos on this bike have done really well. One's pushing 30,000 views now. I wasn't actually planning on doing this update video, but here we are, we'll crack on with it anyway. So yesterday I went to the Elan Valley in Wales. It's one of my favourite places to ride. It is a long ride to get there. It takes about 2.5–3 hours from here down in Southampton. Had a wonderful day. I put a couple of clips on there. I didn't spend too much time recording with this camera, but I did take the drone. I came back, just coming down towards my house here, I heard that horrible ticking noise we all hear once in a while. We all know what it is. Luckily I was only about a mile away from home, so I carried on. And this morning, after a couple of jobs around the house, cutting the grass, things like that, I thought I'd just check that back tyre, and lo and behold, there was our expected friend. I'll just pop a picture in now for you so you can see that. And as you can see, that is too close to the edge for repair. I did pop up to a local tyre specialist and they said had it been 1 centimetre towards the centre of the tyre, they could have repaired it. So that's going to be a new rear tyre. It's £160 for a Bridgestone A41, which is not the end of the world. I appreciate that, but there we go. Let's just give you a shot. There's the rear hub. As you can see, I've given it a bit of a clean and put some fresh copper grease on the studs. They're ready for when the tyre comes back in. We covered about 500 miles yesterday. Bike was absolutely exceptional. Returned good mileage to the gallon. Some of the best I've ever actually got. 50–55 to the gallon was really good. And just every time I ride this bike, it just reminds me how fantastic it is. I had the phone on the handlebars for sat-nav, which cover pretty much all the sort of features that you'd need really from all these bikes that have got the sat-nav link and all the Bluetooth and interconnectivity and everything else. Sticking your mobile on the dash, I'll show you how I mount that there. Just a very standard Ultimate Add-ons mount. One little tip I will give you guys actually is just wrap your little security strap around your bars and clip it into your phone. That way if it does go anywhere or the mount breaks, then the phone's not going to go very far. As you can see, it's covered in flies and it's filthy, but I'll give that a clean. So any updates on the VFR? Nope. It's been absolutely perfect. No issues at all with it, which is a bit boring, I know, other than the nail in the tyre. So let's come on to the elephant in the room then, or out the garage, shall we say now. Now, a couple of weeks ago, the ZZ-R11 looked like this. And in fact, I did one video on it, showing how it was progressing. Now, the reason it's like this is in that video I did a prediction about the life of the exhaust. Let's pop outside and show you that quickly, actually. So what has happened is just on the... Come on, gimbal, catch up, there we go. Just on the junction point in there, the exhaust has snapped clean through. The reason why it's done that is just through rust. Had there been anything left in there, I would have got it welded. Unfortunately, that exhaust didn't last as long as I'd hoped. Taking the exhaust off his ZZ-R11 is a big job. It can be done by cheating a couple of ways, and to be honest, it's just not worth it. It's so much risk of damaging things like radiators and oil coolers in this case, straining wires and cutting yourself and all sorts of things that don't really save you any time. The reality is the fairing has to come off, which is not a huge job on these. It's certainly easier than the 600, which you'll see behind it. So the fairing came off, which again is actually not too bad. It takes about 15 minutes on one of these. It's really simple. And while the fairing was off, I gave the bike a really good look around and came across a couple of things. One of these being, I'll pop a picture in now. It has had at some point an alarm on it. I don't think it's a genuine Kawasaki one. To be fair, it's a fantastic install and a really, really good job. But I don't like them. Any leftovers in the loom, so I'm going to remove the remainders of the loom, or remainders of the loom for the alarm from the standard loom. And then you know how it is, one thing leads to another. We'll cover more about the rest of the bike in a minute now. The reason why we got so far involved in this, I think the camera's picking it up really well actually. You will see there on cylinder number 4, bolt number 2, a snap stud. Now, one snap stud is not bad. That was the original system. It had been there for 27 years, and to be honest, I expected 8 to snap, so just to get 1 to snap was really good. It can be done with the engine in, and in fact in this case it may have been a better bet, but as I'll come back onto now, one job led to another, and this is where we see ourselves today. So the engine now is largely ready to come out, which actually is not too bad a job on these. It's not too difficult. It's very, very heavy obviously, and it does sit in its own subframe, very similar to all the ZXR range. Architecturally it's very similar to the ZX-R750. There you go, as you can see, all the ancillaries are all stripped away now. Wire and loom's all out. A couple other jobs we need to do while it's away, being worked on the engine at. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give the engine to a local tuning house. I'll give you more information about them later on. Not to have any tuning work done, that's not exactly what the idea is at all. Going to have the valve clearances done. Going to have, what else am I going to have done? Obviously that stud removed. That's pretty much it actually. Everything else I can do myself. But yeah, I'll get the valve clearances done. It's one of those jobs that I can do, to be honest. I can do valve clearances, but there's a split collet on these, which is a bit of a nightmare. It's just so much easier if you've got the genuine Kawasaki tools, and to be fair, they could probably do it in about 45 minutes with the engine out the bike. So I'm going to drop the engine down there, get that stud removed, get the valve clearances done. There's nothing else that really needs doing to the engine. And the swing arm's going to come out, obviously, and the reason for that is the thread has gone in the chain guard mount, which I'll do myself because I've got a helicoil kit. The inside of the chain guard, might just be able to see it up there where it has been moving around. You can see you've got two nice big gouges there, one from the sprocket and one from the chain itself, and it was held on with a cable tie, which is not fantastic, and I can only assume the previous owner had said it was too difficult to get in there with the tools necessary, which I agree with, which means the exhaust has to come off anyway, or the swing arm out, either way. And the reality is this is going to be a complete restoration back to factory. Just very unhealthy looking. Let's just see if we can get a pic. There you go. The shock does look very unhealthy. Actually performs quite well, so I might just need to clean. Linkages and everything else will obviously be done once the engine's dropped out. We'll come back to the last nut and bolt. I have done this before, guys, and it's not a complicated job on one of these. It's not going to be a cosmetic job, it's going to be a mechanical. This bike is so standard and so factory and so good. And so far the list of replacement parts goes at chain and sprockets, not because of wear, but because of just too many tight links in there. When this bike was laid up, that chain and sprockets, which was fairly new I think, it's obviously got too many tight spots in it. I can't get it back. I've tried various things, but it very rarely works, to be honest. So I'm going to get a Renthal kit, in which I get the chain linked up using a weld tool. Again, at the same place I was talking to, it's going to do the engine work for me before it goes back onto the bike. Now the reason I do that with the Renthal one is because of the hard link, and you can test very successfully how much drag that link is causing before you put it onto the bike. And with the swing arm out, it's not a problem, because you put the chain around the swing arm and then pop the swing arm in. So that's what I'm going to do with the Renthal kit. Before the engine comes out, I just need to drop the oil cooler off, which actually, now we're in this state, is not too bad. It hasn't fought me too far to date. And when you take the exhaust off, these Kawasaki are actually really clever. What you do is you drop the oil cooler off and swing it to the right of the bike, and the exhaust comes off without removing the oil cooler, which is actually quite clever. So as you can see, just do a bit of detail work there. The majority of it now is done. These are my high-tech, genuine factory inlet tract obstruction tools. These are available from the Headrace shop. I charge $399.99 for those. Currently on back order, I'm afraid. Demand has been high. If you'd like to order some, just drop me a message in the comments and I'll supply those. They come in various sizes, various colours. They're a universal fit, which means they fit nothing perfectly. So yeah, that's the update on the 11. Now the 600, as you can see, is absolutely resplendent at the moment. I've done about 1,000 miles on this in the last couple of weeks, and it's crossed a bit of a milestone. And the reason I say that is, last week the mileage on this actually exceeded the mileage on my VFR1200, which is crazy. Let's just go around here and show you what that is. $10,705, that is genuine. And it's been absolutely faultless. I love this bike, it's awesome. Of all the bikes I've owned, which is well over 100, this is the first one of these I've actually had, I think. And as you can see from the condition, it reflects those 10,000 miles. It's mechanically perfect. It's not often I'd say that. And although I do chop and change bikes a lot, this is one that will not be leaving the garage under any circumstances. It's just too good. And for what I paid for it, I couldn't replace it with anything better for less or more money. So, and it ticks all the boxes that I want it to tick, so it's going to stay permanently this one. So there you go everyone, that's a little tour of the Headrace garage. Let's give you a little scenic. Adventure riding gear, helmets, boots, a whole range of oils and fluids, various bits of bikes, bits of my ZX7, chain tools, various socket sets, impact drivers, brake bleeding kits, domestic decorating stuff, lots of hand tools, light entertainment, stickers on the garage door, which you have to have, that's compulsory. No joking guys, get one of these in your garage. Things can and do go wrong in the garage. And without one of these, it can get very nasty very quickly. Particularly when it's attached to your house, as this garage is. More riding gear. The Walker Rep Array, which is not wearable anymore. That's the reason why. And this goes back to the practical sports bike feature that was done on the bike. Picture tells 1,000 words. And we'll leave that one there. That's my old ZX7. That was Brands Hatch, one of the first track days I did. So there we go. Let's do one more scenic for you. Oh, come on gimbal, catch up, there you go. There's the 11. There's the 6. Time scale on the 11 is about, well, I've set myself this crazy goal for no reason. To have it back on the road before the MOT expires. So I've got 11 months exactly to get that back on the road, and that's really reasonable. So keep watching the channel guys, I hope you found this interesting. Probably didn't, because it's not that interesting to be honest with you. But I just thought I'd give you a little walk around where operations are based. It is nothing special, it's just a standard domestic garage. Lots of good things have happened in here and are going to happen. So there you go guys, hope you enjoyed that one. Keep watching and thank you very much.